This is a Rank Sentimentalist, and this is my World of Warplanes Open Beta Let's Play Part 1. I played about 700 games of this already in the alpha and closed beta, and I think it's a great game. I've played a lot of World of Tanks also. I'm familiar with the format, which is basically just launch the game, select your aircraft, and boom, jump into battle. Quick and easy. Now, I wouldn't say this is exactly a flight sim. You might call it a sim light or more just like an arcadey, flying shooter. But I think it gives a very authentic dogfight experience. So I have a great time playing it. The models on the planes are really nice, I think. Here we have kill markings. So as I shoot down more and more planes, I get more of those. Actually, I've never flown this one before, I don't think. Or the Soviet. The American plane, you have, and I think that's maybe 10 or 20 aircraft, I'm not sure. Over here, you'll notice that each aircraft has its own pilot. Now, the pilot will start with a skill of 50, and through playing, you'll level him up to 100. You can spend 40,000 in-game credits, which really aren't that many once you get going, to train him up to 75%, or you could spend 400, right now they're called tokens, and they're a special currency for the open beta, but basically some amount of real world money to train him up to 100%. Now when you get to 100%, then you can take advantage of your aircraft's full capabilities. So until you get that pilot up to 100%, your aircraft will never turn as well as it could. Now, his training is to this specific aircraft. So if I say move him, if I get him up to 100, and then moved him up to, say, a Tier 2 aircraft, he would lose a big chunk of training doing that. So, depending on how many planes you want to have, etc., etc., it's basically best to leave your pilots where they are for as long as possible. So I might keep this guy and bring him up to Tier 5 and then leave him there in that Tier 5 grinding plane for, whenever or however how long I want to use him in that plane. Maybe we'll talk about it later, but it is a tiered game from Tier 1 up to Tier 10. So usually for your free players, and this game is totally free to play, and the Tier 1 planes, as you're going to see, are a blast to play. Usually if you're going up through the tiers, the free-to-play players will do their kind of grinding at Tier 5, where your paid players with premium accounts, which I guess we all have now for the open beta, you might grind at Tier 6, 7, or even Tier 8 if you're a real hot shot at the game. One more thing about the pilots: once you get up to 100%, you can choose skills, secondary skills for the pilots. Stamina gives you more health, so if you get shot, you'll resist that better. Increased view range, extend the range at which enemy aircraft can be detected by this crew. I'm not sure how useful that one is. The engine guru here certainly is very useful. Improves aircraft acceleration when flying straight or boosting. So right now I would probably do, stamina, then engine guru. We have the tech trees for the different countries up here. Obviously, the Japanese is the least developed. We've got the USA, USSR, and Germany are all about the same. We're definitely going to see, British fighters pretty soon. Everybody wants, obviously, the Hurricanes and the Spitfire. And that's another cool thing. I talked about that grinding before. So here at Tier 5, where the free players are going to grind, they're going to be flying the 109 a meal. The Lag 3, the IL-2. The P-40, the Wildcat. So right in where definitely the free-to-play players, aren't going to lose money in these games. You've got kind of your heavy hitters of World War II, the P-40 up to the 51D. This is the Super Corsair. Up to the LA-7, the IL-8, the LA-5. Up here to the 109G, ME-609. Within the German tree, because they had so many theoretical planes compared to the USA and the USSR, they have a lot of planes that never really saw that much combat. But still, it's cool. It's cool to have them in there. I personally prefer to fly kind of the heavy hitters, the big boys. But I could also that kind of being a little problem if they want people to get to Tier 10, and that's how they, kind of the business model works. If all the famous planes are back here, I don't know. Alrighty, let's just let's see the store. Buy stuff and you can sell stuff, achievements. We're eventually able to track all the performance of all your aircraft, buy aircraft overall. Just the menu. Okay. I am Hybgus. It's back from my days with Silent Hunter 2 Destroyer Command. He would tell you how many players are on right now, about 1,400. About 80 waiting to start a game. This is how much real world money I have, in-game money, and how much free experience I have. Okay, so let's just jump in and start with the American P-12. And this tells you, how many players are waiting in whatever tier. So obviously a lot of Tier 1 players, since the open beta is just starting. But it says if I was up here at Tier 8 and there were 2 people there and I'd been there for 5 minutes, I should probably jump out of there and play something else. So here we are. I'm in a game with some Tier 2s, some Tier 1s. Now, I'm totally not upgraded at all. This is just a stock plane. So I have the UI very, very minimized here. I've got left stick is pitch and roll, right stick is yaw. I've got my thrust and kill engine, or weps and kill engine on the bumpers, rockets and machine guns on the triggers. Look back is X, switch targets is Y. A is toggle flaps, which the Tier 1 planes don't have. And B is drop lag. So the big thing, and you can see down on the mini-map, lower right, your plane is in white, your allies are green. Staying together is very important. The first part of most of these battles, everybody tries to just pick off the loaders. We should have gotten some altitude. Obviously, deflection shooting. And I just think these Tier 1 aircraft are so much fun. fighter, never do a head-on pass with a heavy fighter. Actually, you really shouldn't do head-on passes in general. Well, it looks like the other team is hanging out by their base, hoping to take advantage of their anti-aircraft. Just back to Hangar. Let's go with the... And just boom, jump right back in. Back in the queue, and we're about where we were last time. Looks like we're same battlefield, opposite team, or opposite starting side. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these people as anyone I should be afraid of. Start out, you need to be careful not to down south. I feel bad now. You know, fighters should really not be going after these heavy fighters. Fighters should stick to shoot down the enemy fighters. At the end of that last game, you know, it was, they had that one heavy fighter left, and just his rear gunner, they don't really do that much damage. It took me out of the spot. And that's another thing I like about kind of the game design of both this and World of Tanks, the idea that everybody has a role on the battlefield. You know, sort of they're still refining that. They'll continue to refine it, you know, over the open beta, and even after launch. Target fixation. Alrighty, so let's just back to the hangar. And here's the German AR-65. Usually, World of Tanks, I play either American, German, or Japanese. That's just because my dad and my uncle fought in the Pacific in World War II. And my other uncle was a bomber pilot. Not a bomber pilot, but a gunner of a bomber in China. He was a bomber style. So I got nothing against the Russian equipment. It's just no one in my family fought either against them or, you know, was in the Soviet Army, so. And there is, so I try to, there is a limit monetarily to how many vehicles you can have. Try to avoid each other by rotating your wings. There's only so many times you're going to be lucky about doing that. finally, the Nakajima. There are quite a few people up to tier 4 and 5 already after only, 4 days. Now, all the planes do kind of supposedly, it's not a flight sim, but behave in an appropriate way that plane would have. So the Japanese planes have, I think excellent firepower, just crazy maneuverability, but made out of paper. So, you know, we got to come to do the shooting, not have people shoot at us. If someone tries to get in a turn fight with you, they're pretty much toast. And nobody else is flying the Japanese in. I've got the UI very, very minimized. What I wish I could do is get that stupid altimeter and the speed gauge out of the middle of the screen. Not getting ahead on with that. Hard underwater babies. Ah! You should have been trying to boom and zoom me at the speed to probably get away from me. That's definitely a mechanic though they're still working on. Shit. Hopefully that guy doesn't see me. Anywho, that's the introduction to the World of Warplanes open beta, the hangar, the UI, and the Tier 1 aircraft. See you next time.